Indigenous peoples across North America noticed something strange, not symbolic, not poetic, strange in a very literal boots-on-the-ground way. Everywhere Europeans walked, a plant followed. Wagon ruts, boot prints, compacted soil, trade routes, campsites, trails that hadn't existed a decade earlier, as if the land itself was reacting, as if the earth was responding to invasion in real time. They gave this phenomenon a name, white man's footprint. And no, this wasn't metaphor. It was a direct ecological observation. A plant appeared wherever colonization stepped. Now pause right there, because here's where the story gets uncomfortable for modern sensibilities. This plant wasn't a parasite. It wasn't invasive. It wasn't choking out native ecosystems for sport. It was medicine, serious medicine, the kind of medicine ancient physicians called infallible, the kind of medicine medieval monks trusted with open wounds and infections, the kind of medicine modern pharmaceutical companies quietly replicate in labs and sell back to you for billions. Before we go any further, do me a favor. If this kind of hidden history meets forbidden botany content is your thing, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss what comes next. This channel exists because most people were never supposed to learn this stuff. And now, back to the plant growing under your feet. The plant is plantain, not the banana-looking thing. The other one, the one you've been trained since childhood to kill on sight. The one lawn care companies label a broadleaf weed. The one that grows everywhere grass struggles, sidewalk cracks, driveways, playgrounds, soccer fields. Anywhere the soil is compacted and abused. That plant, the one you've probably stepped on 1,000 times without a second thought. To understand why plantain is such a problem for modern industries, we need to rewind almost 2,000 years. Around 40 AD, a Greek physician named Dioscorides was compiling what would become the single most influential medical text in Western history, De Materia Medica. For the next 1,500 years, this book would be the medical reference, not one of them, the one. And Dioscorides didn't deal in vibes or folklore, he dealt in results. When he got to plantain, he didn't hedge, he didn't speculate. He wrote instructions. Use it for wounds, use it for burns, use it for bites. This wasn't, maybe try this. This was clinical guidance based on observation and repetition. 30 years later, another Roman scholar, Pliny the Elder, wrote Natural History, and when he described plantain, he used a word Romans reserved for only their most trusted remedies, infallible, a cure for animal bites that never fails. That's first-century pharmaceutical credibility, older than Christianity, older than most written medical traditions, still referenced today. Fast forward a millennium and a half. European monasteries are still growing plantain in their physic gardens, not because it's pretty, not because it's symbolic, because it works. Monks crushed the leaves into poultices for wounds, brewed infusions for coughs, washed infections with it, and crucially, they documented outcomes, generation after generation. What healed, what didn't. Plantain stayed. Then the 1600s arrive. Colonization begins in earnest. European settlers cross the Atlantic with seeds stuck to their boots, clothes, livestock, and cargo. Plantain comes with them, unintentionally, and it spreads like wildfire, not randomly, but specifically where humans disturb the land. Indigenous peoples notice immediately. Trails form, and plantain follows within weeks. They call it white man's footprint. Here's the part textbooks rarely linger on. Indigenous communities didn't just observe the plant. They adopted it, independently, without reading Roman medical texts, without access to European monastic records. They used it for the exact same things. Wounds, burns, snake bites, drawing out infection. That's not cultural diffusion, that's convergence. Two civilizations, separated by oceans and centuries, landing on the same conclusions because the chemistry doesn't change. By the mid-1800s, plantain is so culturally embedded that Henry Wadsworth Longfellow writes an entire chapter about it in the Song of Hiawatha. Chapter 21, The White Man's Foot. A plant that followed colonization becomes a shared symbol of healing, not conquest, healing. That alone should make you pause. But folklore and poetry only get us so far, right? Let's talk labs. Let's talk data. In 2017, researchers tested plantain extract on standardized wounds in rats and measured reepithelialization, which is just a fancy way of saying, how fast does new skin grow? The plantain-treated wounds healed 25% faster than controls. Not marginally, not statistically cute, 25%. In 2018, a small human pilot study looked at digestive issues. Participants drank plantain leaf tea daily for 4 weeks. 67% reported symptom improvement. 2/3 of people felt better from tea made from a plant growing in sidewalk cracks. That should already tell you something is off about how we categorize weeds. Scientists didn't stop at "it works." They asked why, and that's where things get interesting. Plantain produces a biochemical trifecta. First, aucubin, an antimicrobial compound that inhibits staph and strep, the bacteria responsible for most infected wounds. Second, mucilage, a gel-like substance that coats tissue, reduces inflammation, and soothes irritation on contact. And third, allantoin. This is the heavy hitter. The compound that stimulates cell regeneration and accelerates wound closure. Now lean in, because this is the pivot point of the whole story. Pharmaceutical companies know allantoin works. They've known for decades. They know it promotes healing, reduces scarring, stimulates tissue growth. So they synthesize it, they isolate it, they patent formulations around it. And today, the global allantoin market is worth around $4 billion, projected to hit nearly $10 billion by 2034. You'll find synthetic allantoin in wound ointments, burn treatments, scar creams, anti-aging serums, and moisturizers. The FDA classifies it as a Category 1 skin protectant. Safe, effective, approved. The entire wound care market, about $23 billion. Advanced dressings, hydrogels, antimicrobial wraps, products engineered to replicate what Plantain has been doing for free for 2,000 years. And here's where the story becomes almost too perfect. While one industry is synthesizing plantain's chemistry to sell back to you, another industry is spending billions making sure you never use the original. The lawn care industry. Herbicides specifically target broadleaf plants like plantain. Products containing 2,4-D, dicamba, triclopyr, glyphosate. Their marketing is crystal clear. Plantain is ugly, invasive, a problem. Except it's not invasive at all. Plantain is a companion plant. It thrives in compacted soil where grass fails. Its deep taproot breaks up hardpan and aerates the earth. Its presence actually signals soil compaction issues, making it a diagnostic tool. It's the plant equivalent of a check engine light. And instead of fixing the problem, we spray poison on the indicator. Oh, and it's food. Young leaves eaten raw, mature leaves cooked like spinach. Nutritionally dense: vitamin C, calcium, vitamins A and K, iron, magnesium, potassium, selenium. This is not famine food. This is functional nutrition, but more than that, it's emergency medicine you can use immediately. Bee sting? Chew a leaf. Apply the pulp. Cut yourself? Crush a leaf. Press it on. Poison ivy? Strong tea. Wash the rash. The chemistry starts working on contact. This is why monasteries grew it, why Roman physicians documented it, why indigenous peoples adopted it instantly. Because it works, not symbolically, not spiritually, chemically, measurably, repeatedly. So ask yourself this: why are you taught to kill it? Why is a plant that heals wounds faster than many modern products classified as a nuisance? Because if plantain is a weed, you buy herbicides and ointments. If it's medicine, you need neither. No prescription, no patent, no profit margin. Plantain threatens market control. Plain and simple. It can't be patented. It grows everywhere. It works. And that makes it dangerous to industries built on dependency. Once you learn to identify it, you can't unsee it. A low rosette of oval leaves hugging the ground. Parallel veins running lengthwise like guitar strings. A thin flower spike rising from the center. It's everywhere. Sidewalk cracks, lawns, parks, schoolyards. Growing quietly. Waiting? White man's footprint. That's what it was called. But maybe that's not the whole story. Maybe it wasn't just following invasion. Maybe it was witnessing it, healing the wounds of those who arrived and those who were already there. Thriving in disturbed soil. doing what it has always done. So next time you see that plant you've been trained to hate, pause. That's not a weed. That's a 2,000-year-old pharmaceutical factory. A billion-dollar industry growing wild. Medicine with no middleman, no corporate gatekeeper, no marketing budget. If this changed how you see your lawn, your sidewalk, or your own medicine cabinet, drop a comment. Share this with someone who still thinks plantain is useless. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe. Some plants are too valuable to kill. Some medicine is too effective to patent. And some footprints are worth following.